Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and today I'm going to give you everything you need for the Vineyard Acres 9-hole cup tournament. This is going to be a rookie edition, so I apologize for getting this out late, but I only played one account on rookie this week, as I always try to play up a level, as you know, it's a 9-hole cup, so all you have to do is make qualifying to make the final, so it's always nice to play up. But I wanted to get one account in rookie just to help some folks out there who enjoy the videos, but I wanted to make sure that I had shots dialed in before I gave anybody an advice. And today was a pretty good round. Pretty upset I didn't get to minus 15. I missed one shot very short, which you'll see, so that'll give you an idea on how to adjust it. But let's hop right in. And, you know, as always, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, then please subscribe. That would be much appreciated. So we're going to go right into hole number one. Hole number one is something you need to eagle if you're going to win the tournament. And the nice part about this hole is you can use a Kingmaker or you can use a Titan, okay? Either way you go, you're going to go basically full top spin and as much right spin as possible. And what you want to do is line up right here where you see that I'm lining up. Now, the good news is you can do this with an extra mile, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, if you have a lower level extra mile, you're going to need to use a little bit of overpower on your drive. But just pay attention to this drive because this is a pretty simple drive. For a rookie, you don't get too many opportunities to drive to green. So this is one that you really need to take advantage of and win, or at least get the eagle, you know, to win the tournament. But we're going to adjust 10% elevation. And then from here, like I said, we're using a little bit of overpower. And we're using as much right curl as your driver will allow you to do. Now, you'll see here I hit a great left shot. But it's not going to be a big deal whatsoever. If anything, it just pushes me over here to the left-hand side. You know, a perfect shot would have rolled onto the fringe up there or onto the green. You know, but either way you look at it, this is a very simple shot to pin for an eagle, which we were able to get. You know, anytime I do these small shots to pin, you know, it's really going to depend on what type of wedge you have. But I really just go full top spin, and then I aim right into the pin. And then from there, you know, we're just taking a normal shot. Something this close with very low wind, you don't have to do any ring adjustment. I even hit a bad great ball and it still drops into the hole with no problem. So, you know, there's hole number one. That's a simple eagle for you to duplicate and go out there and get. Now, hole number two, you know, if you're used to watching my videos, you know, on par threes, I get very specific on what I'm looking for on landing spots. And this is really what differentiates me from other streamers. I'm going to zoom in here and show you what you need to pay attention to, okay? And how you make a hole-in-one on this hole, because I think this is probably one of the easiest hole-in-ones to get on rookie. I know the water hole should be easier than this, but for me, for a reference spot, this was the easy hole-in-one for me to figure out. So, first of all, pay attention. We have 3.5 mile per hour wind, okay? That's going to be very important. Now, this was during my qualifying round, and I only played one qualifying round. So I went 4 backspin. Now, this is what I want you to pay attention to, okay? So, you know, in the future, if you're dialing in shots, right? So I did 4 backspin, and because we're getting, you know, we're getting a tailwind push here with the wind, right? We're getting tailwind push, and we're getting crosswind to the right. So on my first shot during qualifying, this is what I do. You see where the cup is? And you see how, like, if you look down in front of the cup, it's dark green square, light green square, dark green square, light green square. Well, you'll notice that I lined up to the left-hand side of the cup and a little bit short because we have tailwind, so the wind will push us back up towards the pin. And I lined up just to the left hand of the seam. So just where the light green turns dark green, okay? Remember, this was qualifying. Now from here, we're making a 20% adjustment at max distance of our sniper. So that's very important to know. 20% elevation, maximum distance. Perfect balls are always key, especially in qualifying, so you know what to adjust if you miss. Now notice that I burned the left edge of the cup, all right? So you might be saying, okay, well, you missed the shot, so what happens from here on out? Well, now I know if I have that exact same mile per hour wind, instead of aiming left to the seam, all I would have to do is put my ball guideline on the seam, and then it's going to go in for a hole in one, right? That's a simple adjustment. Okay, so what if I get a lower mile per hour wind on my next shot? So let's say instead of 3.5, I get a 3.1. Well, then instead of putting the ball on the seam, I would move the ball on the inside of the seam on the right-hand side because we're getting less mile per hour, which means we're going to get a less wind push. So I need to aim closer to the hole. But the good news is we know the backspin is accurate. So no matter what the wind is, we came in very smooth to the hole, so we would always apply the exact same backspin. Now, if this was a normal tournament and you had 2 more shots, in the opening round, then you had 2 more shots in the weekend round, you'd have pretty much every single win scenario figured out because we hit a perfect ball in qualifying. So now we know what to do, okay? So here's the final round. Now you see I got 3.3 wind, which is 0.2 less than that last shot. So I use the exact same backspin, right? But now you're going to see what I do here. So you see how I'm left of the seam right now? We got to fix that. I move it in. So now, this time, I'm basically directly on the seam, and I do the 20% adjustment. And we hit a perfect ball, okay? That's a hole in one. So now what happens if you try to follow me and you get something like a 4 mile per hour wind? Well, if you get a 4 mile per hour wind, then I would literally just line up where you saw my first shot miss at, because then we would have been pushed into the hole. So that's how you dial it in. All right, guys? Here's hole number 3. This is a simple hole. This is a really good albatross hole. And because I'm an idiot, I hit a great shot today going for the albatross. And it rolled around the cup, and I missed. But anyways, here's how you play this hole. This is a very simple par 5. This is a 10% adjustment with the katana. Pretty much max top spin, max right spin. Use right curl on the drive. 10% adjustment. Second shot is going to be played with no elevation. You can use a backbone, you can use a Goliath. I prefer a Goliath, but I put a backbone in here just because a lot of people playing rookie play with a backbone. But either way you do it, if you hit that same yardage as I did, anywhere around that 335 yard mark, you're going to be playing this shot with basically two top spin, and you want to put your ball guideline through the hole just like that. There's no elevation on this shot. All right. So the only thing that we would have changed here today, which I did change, is let's take a look where I lined up. All right. So if you take a look where we're lined up at here, we're lined up basically dead center through the pin with 2 bars of top spin. So I missed this one left with a perfect ball. So the only thing that I did today is I aimed on the right-hand side of the cup. So still inside the cup, but I put my ball guideline to the right-hand portion. And with a perfect ball, it would have been in, but I hit a barely great shot, and we rolled around the cup to the left. So I do know that if you aim on the right-hand side of the pin and you hit a perfect ball and you adjust properly, that's going to be an albatross. Okay, here we go for hole number 4. Hole number 4 is going to be played with a backbone. I'm using medium distance of the backbone. And what I'm trying to do here is I lined up with 4 bars of backspin. I'm putting my yellow ring right here on this fringe line. And then basically I'm just aiming directly at the pin, okay? So you can see where the bounce is, it's right at the pin. Now during qualifying, I used like almost 4.5 bars of backspin. And I came up well short of the hole. So today I went to 4 bars of backspin. And that's what happened. So what do we need to do here? If you're using a backbone 9, or really any backbone, so I would suggest that you go 3.5 bars of backspin, maybe like 3.8, and you aim right at the hole, and that's going to be a hole in one. So that's a pretty simple shot. I'm a little disappointed that it fell up that short of the hole. Anytime you fall up that short, that sucks. Okay, man, a lot of people are struggling with this hole. So you need to pick up the eagle on this hole if you're going to win the tournament. And it's really not that difficult of an eagle if you prepare before the shot. So first thing, we're going to use a Titan. But I need you to make sure that you have a big dog in your bag because you're going to need power for the second shot. The second shot is a long shot. But if you pack your big dog and you have a Titan to spare, you're going to get the eagle no problem on this hole. So let's go ahead and watch how we're playing this drive. Don't do anything stupid on the drive. Don't try to gamble, all right? We're going full top, full left. I'm putting my yellow ring on the rough line, as you can see right there, for a reference point for me. Depending on the level of your extra mile, your reference point might be 0. But the most important thing is just to have your ball guideline in the middle of the fairway, all right? That's it. Don't try to hook your shot. Don't try to put any curl on the shot. Don't try to do anything silly here. This is just a normal shot. Make your 10% adjustment elevation. Like I said, don't add any curl. Don't add anything, weird on this shot. Just hit this ball right down the middle of the fairway. It's very simple. So shot number 2. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're doing. You see here when I stretch up to max, my ball guideline is on the fringe, going towards the green. Now with the big dog, it has a lot of power and it has a crappy ball guideline. So you don't want to hit this ball too hard and go flying past the hole. So I went ahead and used about, a bar back spin and, 3 bars or so of right side spin to get back towards the cup. And remember, I'm stretching this out at max distance of my club, which means I'm going to have to use a little bit of overpower. So I make an adjustment with no percent elevation, and I overpower my ball. Let's pause it right here. Let's go back a second so you can see what the overpower looks like. Because this is where it gets really important, on this hole. Because when you're trying to duplicate somebody, getting technical is key. Because I don't want you to hit the sand and I don't want you to hit the rough on this hole. But look at the overpower. See how my ball down here is like halfway through the target? That's the overpower that I use. I even hit a bad great left or right shot. I had a case of the greats today. So I'm lucky that I'm in first place in the tournament. And I went -14. But I didn't expect to get the albatross on this hole anyways. But you can see our speed is really good. So that's how you eagle that hole. So just pay attention to that one. Because if you pick up the eagle there's a lot of people picking up birdies because they're screwing up the drive. Or they're not bringing the right club for shot number 2. So there's a good eagle opportunity, and you got to get it to win the tournament. Okay, guys, this is another easy hole. Don't do anything fancy, all right? So what do I mean by fancy? Let me pause this here in a second. First of all, I'm only using a navigator, okay? You don't need don't bring anything else besides a navigator. You can even use a Marlin, I have to use backspin just to control my shot here. But what I mean by anything fancy is don't be trying to hook your ball over here to this fairway, all right? Can you do it? Yeah, it's super easy. But if you screw up the shot, you can be in the rough or in the sand, and then you're in a bad spot on a par 4. So don't do that, all right? You're going to reach the green no matter what in 2, as long as you just hit this little fairway shot here. So I use backspin to slow my ball down because I have a powerful extra mile. And I use a little bit of right side spin just to keep myself, on the fairway. 10% elevation adjustment, no overpower, just take a normal shot. Going to that left-hand side of the fairway is not going to give you any advantage. It's not going to make this par 4 eagle any easier because it's not an easy eagle anyways. But we're going to go to shot number 2. And this is the one that I'm pretty upset about that I missed because in the qualifying rounds, I left it too short. So today, I used even less backspin, and you'll see what happens. But, I'm going to adjust medium distance of my sniper with absolutely no elevation. And because we're getting a little bit of a tailwind push here, you do want to leave the ball guideline just a tad bit short of the pin, but don't leave it as short as I do. As a matter of fact, you might be able to just leave it right on the cup or even go through the cup, and you're going to be okay. But you'll see where I'm lining up here. Based off my qualifying shot, I really thought one green square short of the pin and left-hand side of the cup, I thought that I would get the eagle. If this was a full tournament, you'd probably see me eagle this hole every time now because I'm qualifying super, super close. And then you'll see, this is only my second attempt at it because this is a mini tournament. And look at this crap. So, we left 2 shots there right at the pin. So hole number 4, that par 3, and that one right there right at the pin. So, we left a minus 16 on the table so far because we shot minus 14. This hole right here, just take the birdie. I'm not going to be able to give you sound advice on how to get the hole in one because I really only had, the one qualifying shot and then my shot today, which I wasn't really any closer today. But I'm using a backbone, and, you see the spin there, a little bit of back spin, a little bit of right side spin to counter the wind. You can go back and look at the exact spin adjustment, but I'm not going into too much detail because I'm really just playing this one for a birdie. I didn't want to mess it up and hit sand or rough, so I just played it very safe, and that's good enough for that hole. But again, if you want more detail, just go back and look at the spin adjustment. That's pretty simple. We're going to spend a little bit more time on the next 2 holes because they're important holes. So this is going to be hole number 8. All right. We're going to use a katana. And really, you can go max top, max right. It's not going to be too important. I'm putting my yellow ring on the rough line there, and then I'm making a 10% adjustment. From here, I don't need any overpower, and I don't even have to use any right curl. You can use right curl, though. So, if you're comfortable using right curl on your ball, I suggest using like half of a bar. So have your ball split, the right target. And here's what I mean by that. So, what you can do if you want to use some right curl. So see here, I use no curl. But if I was going to use curl, I would move my ball to the right. And this target line right here, I would just put my ball dead center of it. So that's half a ball of right curl. Now here's 2 ways to play this hole. Now, it's a very challenging hole to get an eagle on. So you can bring a sniper and just go max backspin. I didn't know I opened up chat there while recording, so I'm sorry about that. But anyways, max backspin, and you land on the green. Or you can try to get fancy like I did today and go with a Guardian. My Guardian has a crappy ball guideline. But anyways, you can try to ricochet the ball off the back of the green here. And what I'm trying to do is visualize that ball guideline being in the middle, like directly down to the cup. And this is just a medium distance. But as you can see, I hit a lot of great balls today. And that puts us closer. So, I think with a perfect shot there, I don't know if we'd have rolled back far enough, but it would have definitely been lined up with the cup. So, if you want to try that Guardian shot, I suggest you rewind that video here and look at that Guardian shot again, because that was pretty good. With the perfect ball, again, I don't know if we'd have had enough speed to get down towards the cup, but it would have been right on with the cup. Okay, so I want to talk about hole number 9 here real quick, because hole number 9, this is a par 5, but majority of the people always get a birdie on this hole. But we're going to tell you how to get an eagle. So let's go. So first thing is you need a quarterback. Just because we want accuracy on the drive, we don't want to go too far on the drive with an extra mile. So let's go quarterback. But then on your second shot, everybody, you need your most powerful wood club. And if you're playing rookie, it's probably going to be your big dog, which is what I chose here. But we're just using 1 bar of top spin on the drive. And you don't need any left side spin. So just 1 bar top spin. And I'm just aiming here in the middle of the fairway. This is a 10% adjustment. And then no overpower, okay? Do not smack this ball hard, because you will go in the rough, and you're really going to screw your opportunity for an eagle. So you can see there, we're good. All right, perfect. Boom, shot number 2, big dog. I want you to go full top spin, and I want you to visualize your ball guideline going down the middle of the fairway. So just like that. I do want you to go ahead and adjust with no elevation instead of just taking the shot. I do want you to adjust because we're going to push back up to max. And then you're going to see we're going to use overpower. Again, I'm putting my ball about halfway through the bottom target. So, I call that half a ball of overpower. And really, we just want to smack this ball past the tree line, which you see we easily do. So to make that shot safer, you can take off some overpower and get a more consistent needle, and you're going to be past that tree line. Now on shot number 3 for the eagle, we are going to pause this a couple times. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Okay, so first thing is I'm using 2 bars of backspin. And I'm going to be aiming directly into the hole. All right, so back up. No, I want that back up. Come on, stay right there. Okay, so I missed this shot during my qualifying round barely. If you use Clash Caddy or if you use a notebook app like I do, you're automatically put at 50% of your slider right here. But on this shot, again, if you're using a notebook app, I want you to change it to 68%. 68% is where you're going to be on this shot, all right? So you see that I changed it to 68 here. That puts us at 1.7 rings, medium distance of our thorn, which is what we're playing, all right? If I change this to 50%, which I do just to give you guys an example, you see how it goes down to 1.5? If you use that, you're going to miss, unless you get lucky, all right? We need to pull this a little bit more to the right because of that wind push. Look at that push. We're getting, a really strong crosswind, tailwind push for a rookie. So therefore, we need to move our target more to the right. So for me, it's easier just to aim dead center of the pin and then adjust my slider. And I figure out how to adjust my slider in qualifying rounds. So, normally I would take 2 to 3 qualifying rounds to get that figured out on a technical shot like this. But I was pretty lucky to have an idea of what to change it to. But anyways, I use 68% slider. I use 2 bars of backspin, and I'm just aiming directly dead center of the cup. I move this 1.7 rings. And remember, if you don't change your slider, it's going to tell you to move it 1.5 rings if you have a thorn 5, just like I do. But we hit a perfect ball. And you see we get that one to drop. We hit the pin, so it's dead center, and we're good to go. So anyways, that's it. That's my round. We shot a -14 today. Hopefully that'll hold for gold. Should be pretty close. It's definitely going to be a top 3 finish because of a good tiebreaker score as well. So if you find this helpful, please subscribe. Thanks, everybody.